Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Abortion has never been popular in the state of Alabama since 1973, when a handful of Supreme Court justices imposed the most left-wing abortion regime in the world by fiat. Voters in Alabama have strongly disagreed with the ideology of Roe v. Wade. Well, last night, after 46 years, they finally enacted their views into law. Lawmakers there voted overwhelmingly to ban most abortions in Alabama. And by the way, just in Alabama, nowhere else. A law like this would not pass in Maryland or New Jersey or Massachusetts, or pick a state. It applies only in a state where a strong majority agrees with it, where it reflects that community's values. That's called self-government. It's how democracy is supposed to work.
Welcome back to Lion Serpent Media. It is evident that we are at war, a war for your mind. And it seems that the liberal left is in an uproar of Alabama's new state law. No abortions permitted, period. Lawsuits have already started filing in. And I give kudos to Alabama. It's about time that people start standing up. You know, it's weird that these white liberal left people, especially the women, who complain that women should be able to do whatever they want to do with their bodies, that they should have a choice, you know, to be able to kill their babies. That's basically what they're doing, killing their babies. Well, here's an idea I have for you. And if my son is listening, you take advantage of this advice as well. Do not go skinny dipping in a pool. Always wear your swim trunks if you're going to go dipping in a pool. You have that choice before you decide to commit that act with whoever you decide to sleep with. Don't wait until a deed is done and a baby has been conceived. You know, you could give that baby up for adoption. No, I do not believe in abortion and killing babies under no circumstances. Now, people say rape, incest, still, that baby can be given up for adoption. And still, that baby is a part of you. Now, I know everybody deal with traumatic situations in different ways. But for the most part, a lot of people are just going out, being promiscuous, and you know, committing these acts of things that people should engage in when they're married. You know, what do you think is going to happen when you have sex, unprotected sex? Either you're going to come up with a life-altering disease or you're going to get pregnant. So why not make the choice before you decide to commit the act? That's when you have the choice. You can either say no or tell that guy to use protection. That's my idea of the day. And if that doesn't work, here's some other free advice. Put a picture of a person battling AIDS, final stages, store it on your phone, make it your screensaver, and then when that situation come up, bam, you show it to that person. They're like, what is that? And you're like, a person dying of AIDS in the final stages. Now, you know that person and you have not went to the doctor to get tested to see what each person, if you're clean or not. You know, I know that sounds crazy and I'm probably being silly, but you know, young people, make the choice before you commit the act. You know, if you're gonna do it, use protection. Why not prevent the choice in the end of deciding of, because it seems like people have been killing their babies since this Roe versus Wade. It just went into overdrive. Planned Parenthood, especially in every low-income community, especially in the black communities, you know. And if you know the history of Margaret Sanger, her whole thing of Planned Parenthood was to get rid of the undesirables. Who was that? The black people. These people were racist eugenicists. You know, And then I just saw a report the other day that the U.S. birth rate is low. And then on top of that, how about this headline I saw today? And it even went viral, where this young white girl has said that she has decided not to have any kids because she doesn't want to bring any more white people into the world. And it went viral. Now see, this is what I'm saying. When you send your kids out to these brainwashing centers, government education, this is the ideas that they put inside your kids' heads. And if it's possible, pull your kids out of these public schools. One of you guys have to sacrifice. Somebody's going to have to, homeschool, or somebody's going to have to get an extra job. Put your child in Christian education. These government, public funded schools are destroying the minds of our kids. We can't allow this any longer. And I'm glad the tide is starting to change. Since Alabama has passed their state law, now Louisiana, now Missouri, now we need more states to pick up on that. Because since Roe v. Wade has passed, millions upon millions upon millions of babies have been murdered. And I even heard sick statements by doctors where if the baby survives the abortion, they will watch over it until it dies. No, if the baby survives the abortion, it is your duty to ensure that that baby lives. This is how sick and twisted this world is. And it just lets you know what day and age we are in. And if you hold a biblical worldview like I do, and you're looking forward to the soon coming of the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, I cannot wait until all this is put to an end. It just went into overdrive, and it's nice to see that people are finally starting to fight back. And that's all I came on here to say is kudos to Alabama, and I pray that more states pick up on this. And parents, please, talk to your teenagers, talk to your kids, see what these crazy left-wing train wreck idea having liberals are putting in your kids' heads. You have to talk to your kids and see what's going on with them. I am so glad, my son is 19 now, and we had to deal with issues once he went from Christian private school to public school. He had to combat little gay dudes. My son is a handsome young man. Little gay dudes in the classroom harassing him, and the teacher thinking it's funny. And I told my son, you know what? If the teacher does nothing, then you just gonna have to, put your dukes up and let them know that you're not a part of that. So, but I'm glad I ended up, anyway, pulling my son out of that school and putting him in a military school. He graduated a year early. So now he's in the military, and I'm glad I don't have to stress about that, and he doesn't have to stress about that. But there's a lot of parents out there that's in a situation that I was in, and I hope that you could find an alternative for your child to be educated in a stress-free environment, where they're not inundated with all these left-wing, crazy, train wreck ideas. You have to talk to your kids. You have to educate them at home. You have to start when they're young. Kids have young, impressionable minds. So people, we have to keep fighting. As they say, this is a winnable war, but we have to be actively involved in this war, and it starts at home. And that's all I have to say, and I will see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and tell a friend. Thank you.